Remember that you do make the rules. You make the rules. We don't have to stand judgment against everybody else and their opinions and thoughts. And we don't have to stay prisoner to our own judgments on ourselves. Give yourself some grace and some mercy and have some fun in life. Like, we're only given today. Like Jimmy said earlier, this is it.
Hey ladies, welcome to the She's Rooted podcast.
We're about to get real unscripted.
So pull up a chair. Let's get to the root of it. What's up, Mo? How you doing?
Oh, I can see you better now. I just changed my setting.
Well, good. I'm not looking so hot right now because I'm a sweaty mess.
Well, we just had a great class.
Oh my gosh, so good.
I like that color on you, though.
Thanks, a little mustard yellow.
It's
Keeping
very
me
good.
warm over here. I want to welcome everybody back to the She's Rooted podcast. If this is the first time you are pressing play on us, we keep it real unscripted over here, don't we, Mo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Only
We have something exciting that we're going to talk about today. Mo was just jamming that out, but we'll see where the conversation takes us, as always.
we never know. Who's on your mind?
What? Oh, this is Happy. Oh, I got Disney and Disney.
Love.
You know what's wild about this cup? I told Matt this morning. You know how like Facebook has your like memories that pop up?
Yeah.
Dude, I was drinking my coffee in this exact cup 1 year ago today. I was like, that's weird.
That's weird.
Super. Here we are. But yeah, it's my Rachel Dunn cup. Little home good purchase.
So cute. Love it.
Thanks. Well, why don't you tell everyone what you were thinking about prior to us press and play?
Yeah, I would love if we could chat around and encourage our listeners today, kind of remind the women that listen to us that we are grown women and that we do make the rules of who we become and how we operate in the world and how we show up and the choices that we want. Like, I guess basically I want to talk about the fact that we do make the rules and that we don't have to operate in this prior story, right? Like, you get these stories where it's like, oh, I can't move like that, or like just a stupid thing. We just taught a dance fitness class. And as dance fitness instructors, I know you get this just as much as I do, where people are like, oh, I can't dance. I have two left feet. Or, oh, I can't move like that. I have no rhythm. Or, oh, I can't do what you do. I'm too. And I want to remind the listener today, as it was like a reminder to me today too, that's only true if you want to continue to believe that's true. Like, the reality is you can do whatever you want to do. If you want to crank up the music and shake it and step it out and all the things, like, you can, and you can own it and be fabulous doing it. And I think we put judgment everywhere, like judgment from other people. Like, maybe somebody said something to you a long time ago. Maybe you caught a glimpse of yourself dancing. Maybe somebody, and it could be anything in your life. I'm just using dance as an example, but you've continued to carry that story with you, right? That you stink or you can't. And when you pause that story and you're like, nah, I think I'm gonna write a new story. I think I'm gonna like try this and I'm going to go all in and I'm going to let every judgment go, including any judgment I'm putting on myself, which I think we're our worst critics.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So I just want to empower the woman to like be who she wants to be. And I'm curious if you've run into this in your own life, if you have any like real life examples of times where you can recall where you're like, you know what, this held me back, or this stopped me for a minute, or this, story that I was telling myself was a lie. And once I got past it, and realized like I make the rules, I can do whatever I want.
Right. Yeah, I feel like first and foremost, when we're looking like on like the bucket of dance fitness and we just had that amazing class, and there were great conversations happening after, and it's the mindset of like I can't do this or I can't do that, right? Who made the rules on
Right.
that? You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, and I was telling them at like, this is no, like, any class that you go into, no matter if it is a virtual gym or if it is a physical gym, and you're walking into a group fitness class, that environment should be so like welcoming and not judgmental. I've walked into some judgmental classes in my past, and it isn't always necessarily from the instructor, so we'll say that. And it never ever should be from the instructor. So that's it first and foremost. Um, but I truly believe that the environment that we walk into, everything is a vibe, right? But if we're putting on the mindset of like, I can't have my camera on because I can't dance well, who gave, like, this ain't Dancing with the Stars, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not putting up like, 10, 9.
Yeah.
But like, um we put that on our own mindset because we're in our own way, because we're on the walk of building up that confidence, right? And at the end of the day, if we have to have our camera off in order to freaking go all out and like just own ourself and own our movement, keep that damn camera off and freaking own it, girl, because we're cheering right alongside you. Like, get it.
Yeah.
um but as far as like personal experiences, man, I could go in a whole bunch of different ways. um Even becoming a fitness instructor on the front end. I mean, I've been in this space for a very, very long time. Um, I started as a step instructor. Actually, that was the first class that I got assigned after I became a group fitness instructor. And we did like a step interval class. So I kind of choreoed the music for my brain to remember what to do. And it ended up being pretty amazing because, like, with Zumba, which I got into later as a licensed instructor, you choreo a song, and every time you hear that song, your students get to remember it, right? Like, then you get to rock it out. I ended up doing that with step, and I remember so clearly in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna be like, it's the imposter syndrome. You're not gonna be as good as an instructor as the instructors that you looked up to, the reason why you walked down a passion path in the first place.
Right.
And it's like, well, a lot of times people don't see all the endless hours of practice and um like pouring into that. They just see you show up and teach the class.
Right.
And you can't compare somebody's 100th class to somebody's very first. That's why we say, even in dance fitness, like, give it, you said it today, give it 3 times
Yeah.
before you start judging your face off on me. She didn't say
Right.
judging my face. She didn't say that. But like, you always want to give it at least 3 times before you say, yeah, this is for me or this is not for me. But yeah, I definitely walk through that for sure. And then, you talk about wrong bucket of environments. I had other instructors in my class on my very first class I ever taught on my own. They were other instructors teaching other things. Why they came to my class, I don't know. They started in like right in the front row. I knew I was offbeat because I get nervous. Like,
Yeah.
nerves happen. I was offbeat, and I'm like, in my head, all right, like, let me try to figure out how to get everybody back on beat. We're moving, all movement matters. We're doing a V step, but on the wrong beat.
Right.
Totally
Right.
fine.
Yeah. It
I'm
happens.
trying to, like, all right, I know the song. Let me get myself back on this 8 count. These two, like, seasoned instructors, they've been there for a long time. You're off beat.
In the middle of class?
I had a packed class. There was like 30 plus people in
Yeah,
this
right.
class. Yep. And I'm on the mic, and I looked and I
No
smiled.
way.
I swear to you, you're off beat.
No way.
So here's me.
Oh my
First class I've ever taught on my own, ever. That happens. I already knew I was offbeat. So what I did was, I'm like, I have 30 women counting on me to like bring it for them. I'm there for them. Those 2 girls think they're the coolest girls in school saying that to me. I just looked at him, I smiled, and I said, I know. And then I zoned in on the girls that were having like the time of their life in the class, and I just focused all my energy on the people that were giving me good energy back. And I
Yes.
got myself right back on beat. And I'll tell you what, I ain't even gonna lie. After I packed up the class and everybody like left, I left that class when no one seen me and I freaking bawled my eyes out. I
I'm
was so like tore apart that that happened, and the audacity of another woman for one, fellow instructor for two, and knowing it was my first class ever, for them to treat me that way, wrong environment. And from that point, I've always known that if you step into my space, if you come into my class, it is a no
yeah,
judgment zone. Period. The
yeah,
end. And if you want to be that way, you can pack your shoes and go to somebody else's class, because I ain't about that life. But
yeah.
yeah. But I'm glad it happens to me, because I feel like I'd rather somebody else try to tear me down than like tear you down. Like you know what I'm saying?
I
So
do know what you're saying, and obviously we always say like we never know where this is gonna go, but this
yeah,
just a whole nother, and I apologize for my distraction. I'm
you're all
totally
good.
here, but people are pulling up around my house and I'm like, who is here and why are they here? Like random cars. And I think I just figured out who it is. I think, conveniently we're getting our gutters cleaned at the same time we're podcasting. Can you shut this doors? Yeah, it's the gutter. Hold on.
I like it. She getting her gutters cleaned out. You have to do that every now and then, you know? It's very important. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm not sure where Mo's gonna go with this. But that just kind of made me think about that interaction. And I could have went one way or the other. I could have given up the idea
Right,
that I wanted to be a group fitness instructor.
right.
But those girls don't make rules over my life, and
Yeah,
how they treated me in that interaction says more about them than it does about me. But if I allow that interaction to change the passion road that I wanted to walk down, the rules that I wanted to make, the vision that I had, the community I wanted to build, if I allowed that to get in my way, then I'm at fault.
right. Girl, this, and then take it another step. Can I take it another level? Like, here's the other thing. I've had a similar situation, not exactly, but like an uncomfortable experience in a new place teaching. And it was like I had gotten called up to do a song, and they had been very used to this one instructor, and the girl in the front row who was close with the instructor, she was literally like looking me up and down, staying face, like right, and she's right here,
Unreal.
front row to me, and she is just grilling me. Like I feel like I am in high school and I just walked into the cafeteria and everybody's like, "Who is that?" Like and I'm like, "Oh my God, I gotta teach it." And your instant human reaction is like, that's all I can focus on is like how uncomfortable and insecure this person's making me feel.
Yeah.
And I'm watching them. Do I teach to that person or do I teach to the rest of the room? And it's like, and those quick decisions that you have to train yourself to make to go, I can't focus on her right now. And in my head, I go, she's had a bad day or somebody was mean to her and she's trying to like take it. And so I tell myself the story real quick and I go through and I teach the thing. Let me tell you, there's power in raising the energy in a room. And I know I'm totally taking a hard right here. This is not
Okay.
what we started talking out about, but I think it's powerful too when you can not only realize they don't write the rules for you, but you can raise the energy in the room. And some people, when you give them like that higher energy and you're like, it's cool, grill me all you want, I'm gonna keep dancing, I'm gonna keep smiling, I'm gonna keep being silly, I'm gonna keep being me, I'm going to keep sharing love because that is what I share when I teach love and joy and all of that, right? It took a couple classes because eventually I was auditioning essentially to like teach at this place. And she grilled me for like a few classes. And as I continued to just raise the level in the room, not even paying attention or respond or react to that or like anything,
Yeah.
she became one of my biggest fans. And you look and you go, you know what? So much is happening behind the scenes in life in so many places, right? And like that's the thing is maybe somebody did something to you years ago that could block you from moving forward in something you really want to do. Or you want, you want to go take that kickboxing class, but the last time you took it, something happened, or you really want to be an author, but somebody said you could never write, or you really want to be a painter, or you really want whatever it is, or you think you're a terrible mom because one person said one terrible thing to you. The reality is, number one, that person's probably going through something and taking it out on you. They have something, some sort of root of bitterness. They have something going on in them that they're struggling with, or they're just a mean person. But when you can raise the level and walk away and continue to do what you need to do, there's power in that, not just for you, but for the other person, because it's kind of like that hit the wall where they're like, oh, I'm a jerk, or they don't, even get it and they continue on their way, whatever. But it doesn't stop you from moving forward. And I think when you can tell yourself those stories, like, okay, the terrible mom one, we all have mom guilt here or there somewhere, right? Like when you can go back, okay, well, what would make me a better mom? And then you dig into and get you rooted in your own choices and in your own values and in your own morals, not rooted in what everybody else says makes a great mom, what everybody else is pitching to you as the way to be the best mom, blah, 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 blah. It's what do you, when you scratch it out on paper and you're like, this is why I stink and this is where I would prefer to be. This would, if I could do this, this, and this, then I would be a great mom. Then you man up to that, right? And you're like, I'm going to start to focus on these things. I'm going to drown out the noise of all this other stuff. And I'm going to be this, if you're like, I'm not the outgoing one, or I'm not the fun one, or I can't dance like that, or well, what would make me that? Well, I could try to start a conversation. The next time I go to a party, I could try to say hello and ask a couple questions. And I could become that person that's friendly. Like we're not too old. We're not too stuck in our ways. We're not too beat down or stifled unless we choose to stay there. We don't have to choose to stay there.
Right. Yeah, I love that you brought the rooted like mindset around this, because I do feel like when we are not stepping in all of the things that from the ground up, from the foundation up, like I'm talking your health, I'm talking your mindset, I'm talking your clean house, I'm talking your good healthy food, I'm talking about filling in the gaps that we can't get from food, I'm talking about all of the things on a foundational level of like a baseline. When those things are out of balance, our mood on how we can treat people start to affect those type of relationships, those type of interactions. That's when imposter syndromes can start happening within our own mindset. That's when we can start taking it out on the people that we care the most about. And then we have the mindset of like, oh, I feel like I like a bad mom today because I raised my voice, or I said this out of like just being frustrated, when it had like the scenario had nothing to do with what your kid probably done. You escalated it because you're pissed off about something over here because you're not rooted.
Rooted. Yeah.
And it ain't like a point finger at you. I've done this in the past, and like Mo, there's been days like when the kids in elementary school, like I woke up late.
Right.
I did not get out of bed in time. Well, guess what? Because I didn't get out of bed in time, those kids didn't get out of bed in time. And now I'm like yelling, rush, rush, rush. Let's go. Get your shoes on, brush your teeth. Like,
Yeah.
let's get in the car. We have to go to school. And I'm like in a heated state of my mindset because the kids can't be late, but I wasn't in the mindset of let me take ownership because I created that.
Right.
So I'm treating them a certain way in the morning when they were little, like trying to rush out of the house unintentionally. And like, I drive home and I'm like, I don't want to be that mom. I don't want them to start their day off with like a rush, a mom that has like a tone to her voice, like, let's go, get in the car. Um, and I'm not even kidding you. There was a day that happened. I got home, Monique, I called the school and I wanted to talk to the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked them if they could just patch me in. And I like totally like, I hope you have the most amazing day. Like I didn't want to end on that foot, dropping them off, because we're never promised the next moment. So I feel like when I did not have all of my ish together back when I was trying to figure things out, and as women, as moms, as wives, like as a freaking human, we have to walk through it. We are all living this life at the same time for the first time right now. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? So, like, I had to prioritize, you know what, being a night owl and missing your alarm clock is affecting things on how you're treating everyone in the morning. And like, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
So I literally called the school that day. Like, it was like a one, like that interaction. And then I was like, I drove home and I'm like, no. Like,
Yes.
what if I just set the tone for their day because I was like, get in the car, we're gonna be late.
Right. Girl,
Yeah. So I literally turned the page on that. I was like, no.
this is so huge, and this needs to be talked about more, right? Like, because I think women, we can look at other girls and be like, oh, well, they're a morning person, or they just are made this way, and this just comes, they're perfect because they just are. No, it's a choice and a decision. Because I actually went through the same thing, Jamie, when I was going through my divorce. And this is like a whole nother topic we could talk about, is just the victim story. And it all ties together. But I had a very similar time when my oldest was getting on the bus. I'll never forget this. It chokes me up to this day. He was getting on the bus, and I had like a big girl job. I had 3 jobs at the time, and one of them I was this manager, and we always had this meeting, and I'm trying to get to this meeting. My job was 45 minutes away from where we lived. I had an apartment, 3 kids on my own. I was struggling, like struggle bus. And I'm working. I went from like a stay-at-home mom to divorced and working 3 jobs and never seeing my kids. So my heart was shattered already. The story swirling in my mind was so negative. Like, you're never gonna get out of this. You're never gonna be the mom you wanted to be. You're never gonna be there for your kids. Like, your kids are gonna be raised in daycare, which you didn't want. And so he's getting on the bus, and his shoe fell off. And I had like the door open. I'm watching him get on the bus, and his shoe fell off. And he was so little, he was kindergarten, and it frustrated me because I was like, I'm gonna be late. I have to go help him get his shoe on. I'm gonna be late. Get him on the, and instead of going out there, Jamie, I slammed the door. I screamed and slammed the door and left him out there at the bus with his shoe off. And he figured it out, and he got on the bus. And I remember that day I raced to the office. I didn't even make the meeting because I went in my office and I just cried my eyes out. I'm sitting in this room, there's no windows, and I'm like, I'm a monster. I was like, I'm an actual monster, and I want nothing to do with myself and who I am as a mom. And I went through that whole moment, and I was like, something has to give.
Yeah.
And that is when this whole you write the rules became so powerful to me, because there was an opportunity. Somebody did come to me with that whole network marketing, which is, people have such a taboo around it. But somebody had presented that opportunity to me prior to this. And that day I called that person and I was like, so you're telling me I can make, 30,000 a year, this is years ago, from home if I do this. Like, you're telling me I could do this. And everybody else is like, nah, 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 not gonna work. The story in my head is like, you're not, but that situation was powerful enough for me. By the grace of God, I had enough something in me that was like, no, you do write the rules. Like, you can do this. And
Yeah.
that moment changed everything for me, because I stood in that and I was like, I will do whatever it takes, come hell or high water, to be the mom I want to be. And that took so much work, which leads me back to what you said. Like, I had to reset the tone for everything too. That meant like personal growth and development, and not staying who I was. I had to get up earlier than the kids. I had to read books. I had to learn more. Like, it was more, but it was all rooted in who I wanted to become. It was all rooted in the values that I held. It was all rooted in the future that I wanted to build. And when you're doing it that way, the hard isn't as hard, like, because you're rooted in your own desires. You're rooted in your own purpose. You're rooted in your own values. And when life gets crazy and chaotic, even now going through all that, anytime I feel like that, it's because I'm not rooted in those things, right? You're chasing something out here. You're trying to look a certain way. You're trying to, have something that you believe someone else told you you must have, and you're chasing all this other stuff.
Right. Yeah. I do think that a lot of moms think that they're alone in those moments, that they're the only mom that has ever acted that way ever in their life.
Yeah.
And it's because it's like you don't want to talk about those things because it's like the ugly of yourself for a second, you
Totally.
know? And at the
Yeah.
end of the day, we've all had those moments. No
Yeah.
matter if you're a mom and you've had those moments with your kids, or we're obviously a daughter to someone, right? Like,
Right.
and taking it out on your parents.
Right.
There's always been something that we've walked in a situation and we walked out of it and you're like, I didn't give myself the best light in that moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't do, like,
Yeah.
would I be her friend? Probably
Yeah.
not. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's called being human. But what I love is we live in a day and age right now where everything is just so freaking manufactured.
Mhm.
Everybody out there seems on social media putting on a damn mask and putting on a front, and they're like got these little perfect lives, and you got to follow me, and then you're gonna have like this whole magic thing is just gonna open up, and it's just gonna be like the best thing since sliced like. But nothing seems real, and I feel like a lot of people are craving that now. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, especially me, like if I remember doing like a training um, with a high level leader back in the day. I looked up to her so much. She just seemed like she had her ish together. And like, you could tell when somebody speaks, if they're speaking truth or if they're speaking like smoke and mirror crap, you know,
Mhm.
at least for me, I've become a very much noticer of people.
Mhm.
Uh, and she talked a lot about how like you can smell fake on people like stinky fajitas. And I've never forgot that. But it's so true. I look at every situation that way. But I think that when you can break down that moment, like when you're sharing that story, I literally had a picture in my head of that interaction in that moment and can relate on the other side of feeling like you did sitting in that office crying because that moment had nothing to do with him and his shoe. It had
Right.
everything to do with you feel like the world is crumbling around you
Right.
and you're just trying to make
Right.
all your ends meet. And when you get to a point in that moment where you realize the reason why I'm doing all this is for him.
Right.
So like why would I rush through that moment? And then you feel bad and then we tear ourselves down and nobody talks about those moments. Nobody talks about us moms going through that ever
Yeah.
and trying to climb yourself out of it because
Yeah.
we look at all these other moms like they have all of it together.
Yeah.
And if you have all of it together all the time, I need to meet you because I don't believe it. Because we're human.
We are human and everybody, yes, we're all flawed and we are human and everyone does fail. And the other part is, I mean, you said it earlier in the podcast, you can't compare somebody's first steps in their first class to somebody's 100th class.
Right.
The crazy part is we're not all walking around in society like, I've got 4 kids, been a mom for 30 years. I've got 2 kids, been a mom for, 10 years. I just had a baby. Like, we don't have these signs. And to take it one step further, we don't have I was raised by a single dad. I was raised by a grandma. I didn't even have both my parents. I had a great family with 2 parents that love me. Like, we don't have all that background information when we look at the next person and I go, oh my God, Jamie would have never done this. Jamie's got all her stuff. I don't have all of that intel.
Right.
And so it's not even fair to judge yourself that way based off that. Because you don't
Right.
even you don't know their background, you don't know how they were raised, you don't know how they were loved, you don't know what they were given, you don't know how they were set up, like you know nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's that giving yourself that grace and remember like you are human and you are gonna mess up, but you don't have to stay there. You don't have to stay there.
Yeah.
And the way you get out is by getting rooted in your own values and morals and vision and passion and your future desires and igniting that. And that takes work. That takes work.
It takes acknowledgement
Yeah.
and then the work.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do believe that you need to look for those line in the sand moments in your life because you had it that day.
Yeah.
in that office, and I had it when I was driving home. I'm like, I'm like, they're not going to let me talk to them. Like, I'm a mom. Can I talk to my kid like
Yeah.
for a second?
Yeah.
And then can you patch me to the other class?
Yeah.
But yeah, that my interactions with like the rush, totally changed.
Yeah.
That drive home, I made a decision that
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And I felt bad. When you feel bad, it's like, okay, we have a choice right here. We can either choose to make a change, or we can choose to stay on the path that we don't want to be on.
Right.
Either way, it's a choice. Which one do you want to stand strong in?
Right.
And then like, just to kind of full circle this back around to the interaction with that girl mean mugging you in the class. And I had that same thing happen, but she was vocal about it. I wonder how her fitness classes are going now.
Yeah. Yep.
But I don't know if I talked to you about this. I don't know if I know we talked about it, I should say. I don't know if we talked about it on a podcast yet, or if it was just us, John. I seen something come across, I believe it was TikTok, and it said like point of view, which is POV. Did you know that? POV is
Good. I'm old, but I'm not that old.
I am old, but we are learning new meanings behind these.
I mean, we were
Point of view, POV, right?
we were called young, hip, and cool today, so
We were.
but we're old.
Yeah, this is true. And it was talking about how, and the reason why I thought about it is because in your head and in this podcast, you said, I was looking at that girl that was mean mugging me, and I thought to myself, maybe she's having a bad day. And I believe that you and I are very much like sisters from another mister. There's so many crazy similarities. It's wild.
Yeah.
But I've always been instilled since I've been little, like a core value of myself is I always want to leave people better than I found them.
Right.
And I know that of you as well.
Right.
And I believe that when you have that heart and you have that aura around you, you tend to be super forgiving for how people treat you.
Yeah.
You put the mindset on maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe they're going through something. But when the vibe is off, the vibe is absolutely off. Okay.
Yeah.
So I seen this TikTok, and it was like one of those quote cards with some music behind it. So like I'm a quote girl, as you can tell. And it said POV. I used to tell myself that maybe they were going through something. But then I realized that I also am going through something, and I would never treat somebody that way. And I'm like, man, if I would have had that when I was in my 20s and not at 42 years old when I first read it, I thought that is a powerful, powerful core value people should put in their back pocket. Because at the end of the day, me waking up late and rushing my kids out the door had nothing to do with those kids. It had everything to do with what I wasn't showing up for early enough. And then you take it out on them. And then you look back and you're like, I shouldn't have treated like that morning that way.
Right.
So, man, I don't know. So I think that when you do, and obviously I've had a lot of growth since then. I had both my kids when I was 23, my friends. I had one crying and crawling at the same time, and they are not twins. So we were very busy over here in the Summers house. And I've done it to myself when it comes to like all the school things. And now I'm in the chapter where there isn't a handbook. Both of them have graduated high school. So like everything's been bam, 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 all together. And I would not change it for the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm grateful for that drive home. I'm grateful for that mindset check, and I'm grateful for the changes I chose to show up for, because just because I woke up late and just because I was having a bad day didn't give me the right to treat that morning the way that I put it on that foot. So yeah. I don't know.
It's so good. I would just encourage, if you're still listening today, that I would encourage you to get rooted in what the story is. If there's something, because we all have something, right? Like there's always something on your list. If you don't have things on your list, then start there. Things that you want to do, things that you want to try. a vision for your life, for your future, you know, like actually dream and have those in place. And I think there's a healthy way to say I'm super grateful for everything I have and where I am and all of that. And also we could get better, or this could get better, or I would really enjoy this, or I would like to be a person that does this. And just know, you know, the first step to that is getting rooted in like, well, why aren't you there yet? And what's holding you back, right? And also, are you chasing that because that's rooted in who you are and in your core and in your value? Or are you chasing that because someone told you you should? I've so been there.
Oh yeah.
And I'll tell you what, when you chase something because somebody told you you should, there's going to come a point where you're running and you look up and you're like, where the hell am I? I never wanted this.
Right.
And this isn't my dream. This isn't my thing. Like,
Yeah.
what did I do? So I would encourage you, if you're listening, like get rooted in that. And then remember that you do make the rules. You make the rules. We don't have to stand judgment against everybody else and their opinions and thoughts. And we don't have to stay prisoner to our own judgments on ourselves. You know, give yourself some grace and some mercy and have some fun in life. Like we're only given today. Like Jimmy said earlier, this is it. Today is your gift. I think I said it in my Instagram story today too. Like this is your gift right now, whether you are, you know, sick in bed and listening to this, or you are strutting the streets or working your career, or you're holding a crying baby, or you're doing whatever, like
Strutting the streets.
strutting the street. You know, I'm picturing my husband in New York City. That's why I said that. I'm like,
Okay.
oh, he's probably
My head went somewhere else.
oh, you're thinking like a hooker? No,
Strutting the
no,
streets.
not like a streetwalker. They're not listening.
Maybe they are.
Maybe she is. You know, I don't know. Maybe they are.
I love it.
Anyway, just being rooted in what makes you tick, being rooted in who you want to be, and being rooted in those things is so important, and it's so powerful, and it's so fun. It's when you're walking in that, it's so much more fun.
Oh, for sure. I'll give a little tangible if that's cool.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's important to share your ugly with the people that are the most important to you. So for me, after that interaction and just like bringing it back to that, like, man, that was so long ago. Telling Matt, I'm a night owl. My brain works so great at night. Like I love, and I always felt like that was my time to like quiet down myself too. Night owl. And I always joke, I'm a night owl that turned into a, what do they even call it in the morning? I almost said spring chicken.
Early bird?
Early bird. A spring chicken? I'm like, that ain't right. See, I'm not even a real early bird. I don't even know what it's called.
Early bird
so
is warm.
Matt wakes up every day for work, 4:45 in the morning. And your girl's like, I'm the type that had like 17 alarms on my phone because I'll snooze it. And then I have another one just in case I accidentally turned it off.
Yeah.
That was my life.
We are
so I told Matt, I said, here's what I want to do. I'm not going to get up at 4:45 because that seems like crazy. That's like jumping in the cold pool. I'm not about that life. So what I want you to do is when you are like getting out of the shower and you're starting to get dressed or whatever, I want you to wake me up. Like I want to be up by 5:45 at the very, very latest. Like every day. So like as you're getting up to go downstairs, like get ready to leave for work, I'm going to get up with you. That way I can give myself that time before I even need to get those kids up. And I don't feel like I'm rushed. And if I'm not rushed, they won't be rushed. And that interaction in the morning that won't happen anymore. So I used that time and it wasn't easy. Cause like, I'm like, I just went to bed at midnight. Like, you know, and then I'm like, you need to go to bed, prioritize. So good for your health to keep your sleep time and your wake time consistent. Like as you learn, like that's very important. So it was a transition for me. So I had him do that. And every morning he wakes me up. And that's been for years and years and years and years and years. And when I tell you it is so important to have like get up before your world gets up and you're going to watch your world be calmer. I promise you. I use that time for like my quiet time, my coffee time, my like sometimes scrolling TikTok time, which back then there wasn't a TikTok. So
Yeah.
I think I was on Facebook. I'm back in the MySpace days. So do you remember that?
I never had MySpace.
Okay, she did say she was called a cool kid today. I'm gonna take it back. I was just kidding.
That is one I never actually had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But having that time and making that a transition, if it's important to you, you'll do it. If it's important to the reason why, if it's strong enough, you'll fight through it
Yeah.
because it's meaningful. And you
Yeah.
have to make it meaningful. And sometimes you have to have those hard, messy conversations with the people that absolutely matter
Yeah.
because we're all human. We've all gone through it. And whoever you're sharing that with has gone through it themselves. So the only way to make a change is to acknowledge it and, like Mo said, put action behind it. So I just wanted to share that.
Love
I am
that.
now an early bird who loves to be a night owl.
I love that.
But
I
yeah,
love the application, and I love that you brought in something that's super important to us here at Rooted. And it's something that I really deeply cherish, especially more as I get older and older, is that leaning into each other and truly knowing like you really can't do anything great alone. Like you
right.
can't.
Amen.
So to have your husband be the person that you go to and you're like, I need help.
Yep.
Need you to help me do this. Or if you have a friend or a person that you can be transparent with and say like, hey, like that's as human beings, that's also part of who we were created to be. We are interdependent and we do need connection and we do need each other despite what the world I feel like wants to tell us right now and social media wants to tell us like be an independent woman, like do all this on your own and just whatever. Like I feel like there's a strong pull for that. And the reality is like, no great success ever comes alone. It just doesn't. I've never heard of a story where it was done alone.
Yeah. And now I have more time with Matt in life because versus me sleeping while he's leaving for work, we have
Yeah.
our morning routine in the morning together before he leaves.
Yeah.
And I always used to say, like, as a stay-at-home mom, I had a hard time when the kids went to school and Matt is at work. And that's my life now. Like the kids are in their careers and Matt is in his career. My career is at home. But back in the day as a stay-at-home mom, I had a hard time because I'm like, oh my God, like that part of Matt's life and that part of those kids' life when they're in school and Matt's at work, like I'm not part of that part of their day. Like that's so many hours that I don't have with the most important people in my life. And I'm like, I wonder what they're doing right now. Like, like so I had to like figure things out for
Yeah.
myself and grow through all that to get to where we are now. Like working from home is a process. Back then I was just a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, and now we have pockets of traditions in the morning that if I didn't have that cry fest on the way home that day,
Right.
I'd probably still be a night owl and sleeping in. And we
Right.
wouldn't have coached an 8:45 in the morning class. Like, who's this? I don't know.
Right.
I created her many years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. This was such a great, well-rounded topic.
Yeah. Yeah. We covered a lot here today, I think. It's so good.
Yeah, I appreciate you for being transparent. I think that takes a lot of courage to share some truth, especially when as a mom you can envision that happening.
Yeah.
We get it. We've all been there.
I thank you for your transparency as well. And I do think that again, like that's part of who we are here. Like I just really hope that women really genuinely know that and feel that like to be able to have a place where you can share those things and you know that you're not being judged, but that you're going to be lifted up. And the crazy part about comparison and judgment is it's so dumb because depending on what you're comparing yourself to, like you could have the same situation and you compare over here and you could be lifted up with pride, like, oh, I'm so much better. I'm so glad I'm not that person, blah, 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 blah. But you have the same situation and you compare it to over here and you are just thrown into the mud. Like it doesn't, it's so dumb because you're either lifted up with pride or you're thrown in the mud, but it's the same you. You know what I mean? Like I
I
could
think oh sorry, go ahead.
no, but I appreciate the ability and the place that we have created that it's a real like interdependent where you're like, yeah, this really happened. And you know what's great is that it's because you can share it now. So many, I mean, that happened when he was in kindergarten. He's 20 now, and I have become a different person, and it still chokes me up, and it still gets me emotional, and I still feel terrible. But at the same time, those terrible situations often lead to beautiful places if you choose to go there.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. If not for that Monique in that moment, we wouldn't have Monique today.
Right. I would have never built the business I built. I would never have the time freedom I had. I would have never been the mom that I've been, you know, it's been rare, right? Like to have a single mom that's a stay-at-home mom for all these years. Like, I mean, I'm remarried now, but at the time, like that didn't happen. That wasn't like a thing. So being able to be there for every single thing for my kids was priority, and that situation was that turning point moment. So
Yeah.
don't be afraid of those moments. Be vulnerable in those moments and then grow from those moments, right?
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that. And I love that this whole thing kind of started around like you are the one that writes the rules.
Yeah.
And I think that that all is going to be in a mindset of what is your priority.
Yeah.
And when you can be grounded in that and realize that you do choose the choices and you do write the rules for your life, for your four walls, for your future, for what you want, for the changes that you see, the changes that you need, the changes that you want to like create a different path because you're just not loving the one that you're on. You get to make that choice. That is a beautiful thing about life.
Yep.
And do it now.
I heard somebody once say, and I know we gotta wind this up, but I heard somebody once say, um, the hand that you are dealt and are losing with, someone else could win with. Like if you think of a
Ooh,
cards, like,
yeah.
and it's so true. I
Yeah.
really think that's true. It's our mindset and it's our belief around it. You could get a hand of cards and be like, this stinks, I'm losing. And you could give that same hand of cards to someone else and they're like, I'm gonna crush it. Like,
Right.
it's
Heck
crazy.
yeah.
So go crush it with the hand you were dealt today, ladies. And yeah, be who you want to be. You're never too old, you're never too far behind. And you write the rules.
Right. 100%. I love it.
Love it.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah. Great conversation today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a blessed day.
You too. All right, ladies. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. We hope that landed. If it did, drop a comment, share it up, and you know what? We'll see you next week. Until then.